For years, I thrived in the high-pressure business world, but the workaholic life finally caught up with me. I was 35, very overweight, in chronic pain with severe mobility issues, terrible diet, no exercise. My health was a complete wreck. Then I went to a gentle yoga class and felt truly relaxed. The stress just melted away. I went from a size 18 to a size 8. I stopped getting sick. Pain disappeared. I learned to open my heart and I felt happy for the first time in years. So I said goodbye to the business world and started teaching. Yoga doesn't have to be strenuous. The easiest movements can trigger major release of chronic symptoms, no matter your age.
Healing Yoga. Yoga for real people with real problems.
Hello, I'm Deborah Devine, and that was my story. I was always nervous about hot yoga because of my injuries and physical limitations. My back, my hips, my shoulders all had issues, and I didn't want to exacerbate any existing problems or add new ones to the list. As I progressed on my yoga journey, I discovered adding some heat to my practice made me even more flexible. I was able to move further into my poses with ease as I gained flexibility and strength. Today, I'm sharing a very gentle yoga practice that will help us heat things up from the outside in and the inside out. We begin with a series of movements that warm up the body, and then we work with vinyasas, flowing movements with breaths. We wind the practice down by cooling off with a restful shavasana. Do the whole series, or if you're busy, just one or two poses will help make you more energized. Let's start the healing. Joining me today, Farhan. Hi, Farhan. Farhan was turned off of hot yoga because he had an unpleasant situation with unhygienic conditions at a yoga studio. And Karen. Hi, Karen. Karen found herself very overwhelmed by the heat in a hot yoga class. Now, in this edition of Healing Yoga, you are going to be experiencing your own hot yoga environment. So turn up the heat, turn up the furnace, get the space heaters going, turn the fireplace on, and we'll begin with sun breaths. The feet are about hip-width apart, and the heels are out, the toes are in. And we're making really solid foundational contact with the ground here. If you come back on your heels a little bit more with your weight, you'll feel the quadriceps begin to charge up. Go to the pelvic girdle. Squeeze and hug everything into the center. Feel the ribs coming off of the top of the hips as you feel the in-breath lifting everything on the front line of the body and the out-breath taking everything down the back line of the body. Take the shoulder blades together and move them down. Broaden through the collarbones. Lengthen through the back of the neck and take yourself to the back plane of the body here and feel yourself strong. Take your hands in front of the heart center and inhale the arms out and up. Fingers touch and we exhale back to heart center. Inhaling, opening wide, spreading the fingers, exhaling, coming back to heart center and pressing the palms together. Inhaling, out and up, exhaling. Fingers are pressing together and we're broadening the collarbones. It's really wonderful to practice in a warmer environment because your joints feel more flexible. Your muscles and your connective tissue seem to be more limber. And we get to detoxify by sweating a little bit more easily than we would in a regular temperature environment. Now, we're going to be coming into half sun salutes. So we'll step to the head of the mat. And we'll come to Tadasana. Heels are out, toes are in. Energize the legs, energize the pelvic girdle. Feel the ribs coming up again. Feel this opening in the upper part of the chest and this squeezing in the back part of the upper back. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, take the arms out, bend the knees, and let the pelvis come up and over the heads of the femurs. You can touch the shins or the ground, and then we're going to inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the back. Exhale, come down again. Inhale, all the way back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now we're keeping on with this routine, and the feet are going to just stay grounded. Keep coming back to the feet and feeling grounded through the heels. Inhaling, all the way back up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Now we're going to be breathing the Ujjayi breath. Inhaling with that slight constriction at the back of the throat. Exhale with that slight constriction at the back of the throat, coming forward, bending the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, Ujjayi, the victorious breath. Exhale, yes. Inhale, all the way back up. The Ujjayi breath is an excellent way to keep heat going in the body. We are using our throat, the back of the throat, there's a very slight constriction, and that is helping us slow the breaths down, hands to heart center. We're coaxing the sun out from behind the horizon with this practice, and that is going to heat things up for us quite a bit. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale. Now please continue to enjoy more half sun salutes, and when we come back from the break, we'll have more home hot yoga in this special episode of Healing Yoga. Halfway lift.
Healing Yoga. Yoga for real people with real problems.
Hi, I'm Farhan. I'm 44 years old, and I have some experience with hot yoga, but it wasn't always that positive. In fact, I had some concerns about the hygiene of the studios, and I kind of caught a skin fungal infection that resulted in me having to take some medication. So having said that, I'm looking forward to Deborah's home hot yoga class to see if I can still continue this practice and reap the benefits of it, but in the safety of my own home.
Welcome back. In this special episode of Healing Yoga, we are developing a home hot practice. Farhan, you had a disappointing experience at that studio. What was it about hot yoga that you decided to give it another shot here?
Well, one thing that I love about yoga is that it immediately gives you feedback and information about where your body may be tight or where there may be muscle imbalances. And so I wanted to continue with the practice of yoga for that reason. But with the added benefit of the heat is that it assists in the external heat from the hot yoga environment plus the internal heat to add the benefits of improving your flexibility and your mobility.
Those are really great reasons to consider a hot yoga practice. And this next sequence of moves is going to be fantastic for building up heat from the inside out now. We're coming down into modified plank. And in this version of plank, we're going to be using a bolster. You can use a rolled up blanket, a rolled up towel. And we're just going to be laying on our belly. And the short edge of the bolster is going to come right underneath the bra line. We're going to take the legs and internally rotate the legs. And then we're going to turn the toes underneath. So the toe pads are resting on the ground. Now, we're going to be taking a couple of moments to ground the fingers, spreading them nice and wide. And the hands can be closer to the shoulders, maybe just below the shoulders. And then we're going to exhale completely. And then we're going to inhale. And then we're going to exhale again and come up into plank. If you feel tired, you've got the bolster right here. And you can just rest and keep working the legs, keep working the glutes. Farhan is doing the full plank pose here. He's squeezing everything into the midline of the body as he presses down into the base of the fingers, the thumbs, and the meat of the thumbs. So coming up into plank, it's a wonderful way to work the core. And having the bolster here is very helpful for the low back. Now, let's come down. We're going to remove the bolster out of the way, and we're going to take another modification. We come into table pose. Fingers are spread nice and wide. And we're pressing down into the base of the index fingers here. We're going to move the knees back a little bit and then bring our torso forward until we're resting with the shoulders just above the wrists. Don't go forward past the wrists. Feel the core engage. Now, let's come back and recover for a moment and just feel that wonderful heat starting to build. We're engaging the fires of the third chakra. Now we're going to come into the elbow modification of this pose. So if you've got wrists and shoulders that are bothering you, coming onto your forearms is a really great way to take the pose. We are going to clasp the fingers together, and then again, we're just going to walk the knees back and then take the body forward until we have vertical arms. Work this pose here. Squeeze and hug all of the muscles to the front of the spine, and then breathe. Exhaling completely and feeling the belly come to the front spine. Feel this work in the shoulders as well. Now, come back up and recover. Feel that heat starting to cook up. Now we're going to be taking Bhujangasana, the cobra pose. This is a pose where we can use a bolster for support again. We come and lie down on our bellies. And ask the legs to move inwardly. So we're protecting our SI joints with that maneuver. Take the hands a little bit closer to the bottom of the ribs, and we're going to keep the pelvis on the bolster or on the ground. Toenails are resting on the ground as well. This is going to be the foundation of the pose. The pelvis, the legs, and the feet. Bring the elbows in and take the shoulder blades down the back and lengthen the back of the neck. Inhale, draw the chin up and begin to lift the front part of the body. And then when you get to a certain point, you'll be able to press your hands down and really work the arms, squeezing and hugging all of the muscles of the back and working the glutes, working the back line of the body. All right, let's come back and recover. Starting to feel that fire is really getting hot. Now, we're going to take another variation of Cobra. We'll move the bolster off to the side, and we'll come down onto the belly. Take the upper legs and bring them inward so that the knees feel like they're coming into the center, and the toes feel like they're coming into the center. Bring the hands down to the bottom of the ribs. Exhale completely, and squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the whole low back. Draw the chin up. Elbows in, shoulders back. Long, slow, smooth in breath. Long, slow, smooth, and complete out breath. Then we come down, and let's stack the arms and rest the forehead. Wonderful. Hands are coming to the bottom of the ribs. Please continue to enjoy more Cobra, and when we come back in a few moments, we'll have some more home hot yoga. Inhaling, lifting the chin.
Healing Yoga. Yoga for real people with real problems.
My name is Karen. I'm 55 years old. Years ago, I tried hot yoga and didn't really enjoy it. But since then, my daughter absolutely loves it, and many of my friends talk about the benefits of it and how much they enjoy it. So I feel like I need to give it another try. And since Deborah is doing this show on home hot yoga, I thought, what a wonderful way to experience on my own terms.
Welcome back to the home hot yoga edition of Healing Yoga. Karen, what was it about that practice that really overwhelmed you?
Well, I found it very difficult to breathe because of the speed of the class. I wanted to be hot and I wanted to sweat, but I was very overwhelmed not being able to breathe.
Well, these next poses are going to be fantastic because we're going to be slowing things down and we're really going to focus on the breath. We're going to be coming into downward facing dog. So we'll come onto the mat, onto table pose, hands and knees. And then we're taking the hands a little bit forward of the shoulders, spreading the fingers out nice and wide, and taking the hands wide too. Maybe the pinky fingers could touch the outside edges of the mat. We turn the toes underneath, and we press down and come up into downward dog. Wonderful. Now, go for an inner spiral with the upper leg bones and take the sit bones high behind you. If the hamstrings are bothering you, bending the knees is a great idea. And then you can get the pelvis to come up and over the heads of the femurs. Externally rotate the upper arms and press down into the fingers and the base of the fingers, especially the index finger. Now we'll come into plank. And you can come into the modified version of plank. You can come onto your elbows if you like and take a few breaths here. You could also be coming onto your knees. Long, slow, smooth, and complete in and out breaths. Then we go back into downward facing dog. And we can walk the legs out, and it feels really wonderful on the backs of the calves and opening up the knees and the hamstrings. Now we'll come back to plank, whichever version makes the most sense. And then we're going to be coming into cobra. So find your way to come down onto the belly, and then inhale, squeeze everything on the back line. Keep the elbows in, shoulders back, and then downward facing dog. Walking the legs out, bringing the heels to the floor one at a time, and then plank. Hugging and squeezing everything into the midline with plank. Then, cobra, coming down. Inhaling, lifting and rising. Exhaling, coming back down and going into downward facing dog. Keep pressing into the fingers, pressing into the thumbs, starting to get the fires going. Broaden the collarbones, widen through the shoulders, coming into plank, taking the knees down if you need to, or the elbows. This vinyasa sequence is one of the most effective ways to build heat and build strength in the body. When we bring the temperatures up, we're starting to detoxify all of our waste products. It's very invigorating, and you should be working up a really good sweat by now. Cobra. Inhaling, lifting. If you get tired, come into child's pose. Just come back. Instead of taking downward facing dog, take the knees apart and rest the head down. After several breath cycles, give yourself a chance to recover and then join in the vinyasa again. Now, downward facing dog. Please continue to enjoy these vinyasas, and when we come back after the break, we'll have some more home hot yoga. And then plank.
Healing yoga. Yoga for real people with real problems.
You detoxify through sweating. The skin is the largest organ of the body, and research has shown that toxins such as unwanted metals and salts are eliminated through sweating.
Welcome back. In today's home hot yoga edition of Healing Yoga, we've been working with heat. We were working with sun breaths and opening up the upper part of the body. We were doing half sun salutes to prepare ourselves for the vinyasa sequences that we were doing. And now we're coming in for a soft landing. We're going to be lying down in Shavasana with the knees supported and the back of the head and the neck. So we take this bolster underneath the knees. And this is going to be very nice on the low back. And then a blanket, a pillow, something to support the head and the back of the neck. And we work with the legs to see if we can allow them to sit in the hip sockets in a way that will protect the back and make things really comfortable. So we'll go for an inner spiral of the upper legs and feel that widening through the back of the hips. And then once the legs are secure here, then you can let them go and just let them flop out to the sides. The shoulder blades are coming down the back one at a time, and the arms are coming out away from the side ribs so we can get maximum breath capacity into the lungs. We take a long, slow, smooth in breath and a long, slow, smooth, complete out breath. Feel the belly come to the front spine. Long, slow, smooth in breath into the back. All of the muscles, the connective tissue, the nerves. Breathing in light and spaciousness. Exhaling tension. Exhaling holding. Long, slow, smooth in-breath into the belly, into the heart, into the lungs, the arms, the hands, and the fingers. Breathing in light and spaciousness. Exhaling tension, exhaling holding. Long, slow, smooth in-breath into the neck, into the face, the jaws, cheeks, the ears, the temples, the eyes, the eyebrows, the forehead. Breathing in light and spaciousness. Exhaling tension. Exhaling holding. Feel all of the points of contact between the body and the floor become wider and flatter. Long, slow, smooth in-breath fills the entire body with light and spaciousness. As we exhale the last remnants of tension and the last remnants of holding. Feel yourself sinking down. Feel all of the muscles of the face surrender and release. Feel the belly softly rising and falling. Sense all of the prana and life force and vitality that we've been cultivating in this practice settle into the trillions of cells in your body. The fires are starting to cool down now, and we're integrating the effects of the practice. Please continue to enjoy at least another 15 minutes of Shavasana, and we'll see you again next time on Healing Yoga. Namaste.